All right. Welcome to Show Me Comics, the show where people show us comics and you get to hear about it. I'm Ty. I'm currently writing a comic book with my friend Arthur here, as well as making YouTube videos about comic books, and now this podcast.
And I'm Arthur. I am drawing a comic with my friend Ty here, and it takes up a lot of time, but I'm also working at a toy store and a grocery store alongside, you guessed it, my buddy Ty.
Yeah, I also work at a grocery store. But, I thought we would start today's episode, and hopefully every episode after this, with two truths and a lie. A comic book themed one, obviously. I went very strictly comic books this time. I figured we could do more media in the future, but are you ready, Arthur?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Two truths, one lie. I have 13 short comic boxes. I paid, that's the first one. Number 2, I paid over $125 for Avatar comics in like the last, I would say, 3 months. I would say. And then 3, I believe Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is one of the best superhero movies ever.
That's definitely a lie.
It's a lie that I believe that?
Yeah.
That one is true. That one is true for me. I would say Guardians 3 is one of the best superhero movies ever.
I still can't get over the skin armor from the main bad guys or whatever with Nathan Fillion. That was just, it's all I could look at.
Dude, that movie's great. It's so good.
I like the first one. I'll watch that one anytime, but
the third one has so much more emotion. So, you said that was already confirmed to be true, which means one of these two has to be a lie. I have 13 short boxes, or I paid over $125 for Avatar comics.
No, I would believe more that you would spend $125 on Fortnite rather than Avatar comics. I think I would solemnly believe that you have 13 short boxes.
All right.
Is that a lie?
That is the lie. Well, it was. It's funny because I played a trick on you. I have 12 short boxes.
Oh, whatever.
I did pay over $125 for Avatar comics.
You did trick me. What is it? Are those the ones by
Gurihiru?
Gurihiru.
Doing a video on them, female artists. So, yeah, I had to buy those. They're really good.
Did you buy all of them? I've seen you look at them before. Jeez.
When I was younger, I wanted the huge versions because those have a lot of extras. But I'm like, can you imagine how? Like, I bought the small versions. Imagine how much it would have been to do the big versions.
Oh yeah.
Probably $500 or something crazy.
Yeah. And you could probably see all those extras online somewhere if you really wanted, but
actually, I have not been able to find them online, which is why I wanted them. But I don't really care because
maybe
there's extras in the small ones too.
True.
Yeah, so this is usually the part where we'd go into interviewing someone, but it's just us today because, we figured we'd talk about our own comic book.
Oh, yeah.
And, kind of look into the process. I'll get started a little bit. I just write my scripts on Google Docs. I don't know how other people write them. I mean, I kind of do, but I have always used Google Docs, so that's what I use. I just format it I just Googled comic book script, or I bought some DC comics that used to have the scripts in the back. But what do you use when you're drawing Show Off, Arthur? Which I guess we can describe what it's about after you tell us.
Oh yeah, well I don't have any computer knowledge whatsoever. I'm trying to learn more. I took a few classes on Photoshop and all that Adobe jazz, but I really just do pencil and paper, as you know.
And then what do you use to ink?
I use Higgins ink usually if I'm using a brush or a quill. But yeah, usually just, microns. They're a little bit more pricey, but,
yeah,
$60 every few months isn't that bad, for a full set of pens. But,
yeah, Arthur's doing pencils as well as inks for our comic book.
I did have to buy a huge printer scanner to be efficient because I was just going to Office Max once a week, getting them scanned for free, but
nothing wrong with that necessarily.
I don't know, but the guy I liked that would
do it for you.
Yeah, he used to do it for me, and he left the company, so
Aw.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Shout out to Roy.
I was noticing how many wires you have connecting your printer here.
Yeah.
It's a lot. What is the name of your printer?
It's an Epson. It's Workforce 7820.
Workforce 7820.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's the one Daniel Warren Johnson has, right?
It is. That's actually how I heard about it, from his podcast. And it just so happened that when I was listening to that podcast, there was a sale going on. It was originally like 300 something, and I got it for just a little over 200.
Dude, James Gunn. We love James Gunn here, St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Representative. He was just posting. He read Daniel Warren Johnson's Wonder Woman: Dead Earth. He's like, "This is a dope Elseworld story." I'm like, James, you're just now getting it, man. Let's go.
Man. He posted something about Superman for All Seasons, which I'm reading that again. I just bought the trade for it, but I've read it twice now, and it's 100% my favorite comic right now. Like,
yeah, Tim Sale's awesome. I'm trying to close, minimize Audacity here so I can show you what my background is.
It's yep.
The 2-page spread Tim Sale did in Superman for All Seasons, where Clark is just looking at the sunset, asking if his dad ever gets tired of seeing it. And he's like, no. And it's a great page rather. 2-page spread even.
See, I love Tim Sale's art because you can look at it and it's like, oh, I could do that. It's so simple. He's really just outlining and not using too many heavy, blacks or darks. He's just doing line art with it. And then everything is done in the color, for the most part. I haven't read Batman Long Halloween or pretty much anything else by him besides For All Seasons, but there's another part where Jonathan Kent's looking up into the stars and the galaxy is reflected in his glasses and it blends in with the background. It's just really good, really great watercolor. And there's a later scene that references it again where Clark looks up in the sky and the Star Knight is reflected in his glasses. It's just, I love Tim Sale so much. So good.
But to bring it back to our comic.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'll describe the plot a bit. It's about a superhero. He used to be a sidekick, but now he's kind of staking it out on his own. And he's trying his best to be a superhero. He doesn't always succeed, but it's... I don't know. His superpower, I guess, we'll go into is luck.
If you can call it that, it's more...
Yeah, that's just kind of the shorthand we're going to use to... other people... He says in the first issue, other people have said it's luck to him.
Yeah.
So that's just how he refers to it, but it's basically being able to manipulate probability, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
His name is Show Off, and...
Landon Braggs.
Yeah, potentially. That might be his name. I don't know if we're going to mention his name at all in the comic. We'll see. We might keep it a secret. Maybe he doesn't.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, partially based off our friend Brandon. He is a character. And yeah, certainly, at least visually, definitely inspired.
So yeah, I was wanting to ask you about that. So growing up being best friends with Brandon Daggs, what really made you want to come up with the character Show Off? Like you said, he's a character, but what kind of antics?
Here's the kind of person Brandon Daggs is. He's he wanted to learn how to do backflips. He learned how to do backflips. He would just always do the most daredevilish stuff you could possibly imagine. And we'd be playing video games, and it would transfer into that. He'd be trying to, we'd be playing Smash Bros, Brawl, and then, we moved on to the other ones as they came out. But he would just, whoop me with the worst characters that existed. And it was just do you have something to prove, dude? And it's yeah, that's what this whole character is. It's he has something to prove. He's better than everyone, and that kind of makes everyone hate him, I think. But
we love Daggs, even though he punches us sometimes in the leg. And...
punches me in the leg really hard, and then I can't run for a while. That's cool, I guess. But
was there one in particular moment where you were you're thinking of, man, I really want to come up with a character right now to try to write around, and then you're just oh, Daggs would be perfect to base that off of?
Well, it really came... It wasn't even a comic book at first. It was something we submitted to Film Fest,
that's
our
right.
high school Film Fest. yeah, I went to Lindbergh High School, and I was like, I needed something to write, and I like superheroes, so I wrote something I thought was funny,
Mm-hmm.
and the crowd thought it was kind of funny also. We were snubbed, of course, that year, but
You didn't get it.
I think we got second or something. I can't remember. There were some interesting entries that year, but yeah,
It's okay. We won with our next entry. That
yeah, true.
cute little movie we made.
Yeah,
You made.
it's on my YouTube channel. If you want to check out Video Tie in my very first YouTube video, it is a short horror thing. Don't think that that is representative of what this comic book will be like at all. Although hopefully they are both funny.
Yeah. I still
I
think
like
a
to
lot of the
believe they
jokes
are.
in that movie hold up. I mean, I've showed it to some people.
Yeah, yeah. That is fair.
Yeah.
But we're right now on. We have finished issue 1. Arthur has in terms of inking it.
Yeah, I've finished my chores, but we still got a whole lot to go before.
I mean,
and a lot of money to spend, a lot of people to.
Not
email.
that much though. I mean, we do need to get the whole thing lettered.
Mm-hmm.
We still we're gonna be contacting a local artist about finding a letterer.
Yeah,
Her
calling
name
all
is,
letterers.
their name is Steens.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then yeah, our friend Dominic is currently working on 8 pages. I was gonna do 7, but I decided 8 because I already wrote the notes for 8,
Mhm.
and then I was like, whatever.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't think it's. I think we can say that we're paying him $70 a page.
I think that's fair. I mean,
And yeah, so like 8 more pages will be more than 2/3 of the way through our book. That's gonna cost quite a bit of cash, but
we knew that going into it. It was going to be. Can't really complain, you know.
Yeah.
And Dominic is very, very patient with us, especially it being our first time. You know, he has been, just very patient with our arguing sometimes. But
yeah,
I think we're getting a good product out of it.
true.
Hopefully, it'll be done, and I can get started on the next issue once the script is finished. I just finished. I got caught up on it this morning. It's really funny so far.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm super excited. Dominic's got a great style for coloring. I'm trying to think of more stuff we could. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about the Kickstarter or
Mhm.
whatever we're doing, which I guess we haven't really completely worked out, but you know, we are at this stage where we're talking about like how much money should we ask for, how much money is this going to cost, and you were just the other day looking up how much it costs to make copies.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited to add that all up. I'm thinking one of our friends recommended start at $500, right? I think that's a little low.
I mean that would be just to, like.
The thing is, you can do a flexible goal.
No,
You
of
don't
course.
like that's how. Yeah, you don't have to ask for.
But if you do 500 and you're selling maybe like 50 or more copies, then that 500 will cover the production of making the book and shipping it all out. You know, so that's just the basic.
That's the bare minimum.
Yeah, that's
but
the absolute bare minimum. If you just want to, get, I think Connor, my buddy Connor, his got funded over $1,200, and it only had, I think, 70 or 80 backers.
Yeah, see, that's amazing.
Yeah, but he also had multiple tiers. So that's something we would need to come up with. Is like he had more rewards for more. Like I think when I backed it, I did like the $20 one, and I got the digital PDF in 2 variants or something.
Yeah, I actually just got an email earlier today about my one that I'm backing, Groken, which is Kenneth Rockefort. I did a video on him. Check it out. And it's very expensive, but he's a well-known name, and his art is insanely good, and people love it. So he's making hopefully a good chunk of money off of it,
Oh yeah.
and not having to work for like Marvel or DC, which is nothing wrong with working for Marvel or DC, but he would only do like 1 issue sometimes, like. And hopefully he can make his money off of that, but I think it's great he gets to write what he wants, plus I'm getting Groken 1 and 2, which is why it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah, I just backed Daniel Warren Johnson's I forget what they're calling it, the artist edition for the Extremity, but it's so big. Like it's the whole thing. It's not lettered though, but I think the lowest tier that you can back while getting a copy of it is like $115 or something.
Did you pay that?
No, I paid $1 to get a extremity enamel pin.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
That's kind of cool, I guess.
I mean, I wanted to support it a little bit, but
I
I can't afford that huge thing.
I got Space Mullet from Daniel Warren Johnson at Steens' garage sale for like $2.
Oh yeah.
I haven't read it yet. Also, yeah, we might even go to the comic book store today, right?
Yeah, I was trying to. I haven't picked up the latest issue of Wonder Woman, and then I think Ultimate Spider-Man just came out yesterday, so I would like to read that. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Blood Hunt 2 explicit.
Oh yeah.
I should have asked Fantasy Shop to save that for me, but for some reason I didn't. I kind of wanted to support a smaller store, but I'm not sure they're going to have it when we go. Oh,
yeah.
well.
I mean, there's so many around, I'm sure.
I don't know. This is like polybagged. I feel like it's in... The thing is,
Oh, really?
This is funny. This is what both comic book stores have told me. We didn't expect it to be good, so we didn't order a lot of copies.
Yeah.
And now everyone knows it's good, and it's like, shit, well, now no one has enough copies.
I just always get, like... I like something I can pick up and just read it quickly and then forget about it until the next week. But with big events like that, and you just see the list of all the tie-ins, like...
It's disgusting.
Like, it's hard enough going back and reading older... like events like Secret Wars and Crisis on Infinite Earths is like a serious drag, man. Like it's really good. I'm enjoying it because I've read some of the comics around it, like New Teen Titans and John Byrne's Superman. But it's so, I mean,
wordy.
Not even wordy. It's just so they're trying to fit every single DC character in at once.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole point. But yeah.
But the thing is, George Perez definitely has the talent to pull it off. The art is... I mean, I love Marv Wolfman. He's a great writer, but at the same time, it is sometimes a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I just like with Immortal Thor. I dropped it recently because we're 11 issues in.
It's a slow burn, I think. I think people expect it to be 50 issues, like Immortal Hulk, and he also expects it to be that long. So it's a slow burn,
That's
and
fair.
maybe later you'll see something cool, and you'll be like, I should catch up on this.
Oh yeah, I mean. If there's a cover that I really like, because
I'm sure there will be.
Oh yeah,
Arthur loves Alex Ross.
I really do, especially when he draws Superman.
In fact, we are recording this on a box. It says Secret Wars. Or is that Alex Ross? That might be Asad Ribic who drew this.
Is it?
It's either Ross or Ribic.
I have the cover for this, like it's probably in this box, but I don't want to remove the microphone from it.
This is a 2012 Secret Wars box with I think issue 0 with it's a 2-page cover maybe.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty dope. I mean, I don't know all these guys.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, there's Iron Man and Thor, and I recognize all the guys.
There's female Captain America on here.
Oh, really? Yeah. There's like 3 Captain Americas.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Anyway.
Well, now I'm curious who's on the side. Oh, it's the same. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a wraparound. It was either that or the Thor, the Donny Cates Thor.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, but...
Yeah. What media have you been consuming recently?
I actually wanted to talk about Dawn Runners that's been coming out recently.
Yeah.
There's 2 issues out of that. I'm waiting on the 3rd, but it's like... It's like Blade Runner and Ava, but... like it's a sport. Like they use, well, no, I guess it's more like Pacific Rim kind of, because the government made like giant Ava style looking mech suits to combat like kaiju that have been coming out of portals or some shit.
I remember the art style was very striking. That's what I'll say.
It's colored by Dave Stewart, who's someone I've been wanting to talk about that has been popping up recently. Oh yeah, because I've been reading I just read Public Enemies. He colored that. I just read we mentioned Superman for All Seasons. He colored that. Like,
whoa,
I know, right?
That's
and then
crazy.
he also colored Ultra Mega. Like this, like I would love to get that guy on the podcast. Like, he's been everywhere.
Yeah. I've noticed Russ Wooten is in a lot of places recently. He's a letterer. He did Invincible. And he's been doing a lot of the Skybound stuff recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. But, I have a list of things I've been reading. It's a very short list. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so I already mentioned the Avatar comics I've been reading. But other than that, I just finished Doom Patrol.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
I think it was the Young Animal run. I might be before or after Gerard Way, or maybe it is Gerard Way's run. Yeah, so I've been reading Doom Patrol by Gerard Way, and Nick Darrington is the artist. Very trippy. I don't know if I would say it makes a ton of sense. It's some Grant Morrison type stuff, but
isn't Gerard Way a musician?
I think he is.
What is he? I'm gonna look. Now we need to look.
But he also writes comics, I think, or it could be two different Gerard Ways. I could be totally stupid, but anyway, it really goes into like the creation of characters, and it's just like the art is insane.
American singer-songwriter, comic book writer, Gerard Way.
The rock band My Chemical Romance.
Oh my god!
Oh my lord!
Wow. Gerard Arthur Way.
This is insane. This adds so much to the comic, I feel like. I'm glad I learned that. But yeah, Doom Patrol is basically X-Men before X-Men existed.
Mm-hmm.
And
is Beast Boy on the team?
No, but in a subsequent run, I believe, there's Beast Girl.
Oh, nice.
And she's like Beast Boy, but purple.
Okay.
And she has other powers that aren't really Beast Boy-like. But, yeah, that one is also a really good Doom Patrol run. And then other than that, which I would definitely recommend both of those, I read them at work on my phone.
Of course, like you do.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well make the capitalist machine work for me. But I've been reading General Zod, which is something I want to talk about, because that is... I've been, like, they've been building up Zod for years recently in the comics, like, and he kind of sometimes gets a role, but a lot of the times he's just kind of like... It's like he's going to do something soon. Something crazy soon's going to happen, I feel like. And they finally did it. They gave him his own planet. And I don't want to spoil a bunch of stuff, but he gets his ass whooped in like issue 4, I think, or 3 maybe. And gets all of his skin burned off.
Oh my
and then he raids a prison. And it's just so cool. It's so badass. It's so sick. And it's like... This is the Zod we love. Like, this, I was reading a few years ago, Zod burned, Amanda Waller put a bomb in his brain. He lasered it out with his laser eyes in the mirror.
That's amazing.
Like, a great, like, version of what Superman does in the mirror, which is just shave.
Oh, yeah.
And Zod's like, I'm a brain surgeon right now. And it's really gross, and it's really... I think it's... Multiple artists drew it, I think, because it's multiple issues.
Isn't it in that Suicide Run that you were trying to get me to read?
Yeah, it's probably really hard to get into this arc because it's like 5 different runs of things, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, if you can figure... I think it's called Superman Revenge Squad. It's a Rebirth book. Worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, I think Rebirth was like right when I kind of like...
Got into it.
Yeah, but it was over by that point, you know, so I'd never really... It was towards the end of Rebirth, so I read... Like, I've gone back and read Capullo's run. I've read some of the Superman and the Aquaman.
Well, Capullo's run is
that New 52? Oh, well then, I don't think I've read anything from Rebirth that I can think of. Honestly, I mean, maybe some...
You didn't read the Superman run where it has a son for the first time?
Mm-mm.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I think I told you to read that one, but yeah.
You told me to read everything.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Like, so, for context, I probably started reading comics when I was 12. I remember going into the fantasy shop and grabbing a Deadpool comic with Captain America and Evil Deadpool back in Daniel Way's run.
Was that your very first comic reading?
It was.
You'd never read a comic before that?
Not that I can remember. Unless you count, like, okay, like, if we're going really far back, you remember the book fair.
Yeah.
There was a Goosebumps comic book. It was Goosebumps book they turned into comic books. So I did read that. So that was my baby's first comic book.
Wow.
But then Arthur, you've always been into like manga and stuff, but I feel like you didn't get into superhero comics and stuff like that till recently. Like, more American like kind of comics?
So, yeah, I was like in my more teenage years, I was definitely like all manga, all just robots and Devilman, and Akira was the biggest one. So long, it's so long, but
Yeah.
but I mean, I definitely got my start with like American comics really early on. Like,
Well, yeah, your dad loves Superman. So
Yeah.
we've talked about that.
oh yeah, my dad was the biggest Superman guy. He's got a couple tattoos, but the first comic I ever read was Superman Hunter Prey by Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding, and it is not the first thing that you should show your kids when trying to get them into comic books, because it's just Doomsday lopping people's heads off, biting Superman's ear off, like just it's like it's an intense fight, and it's 3 issues of just whoop ass, and it was
Death of Superman?
no, this was a little bit after Death of Superman. He'd already come back, and he was like, I'm having nightmares of Doomsday, Lois. And Dan Jurgens draws his giant Superman nipples, hairy chest.
Love it.
Oh yeah, but yeah, he's got nightmares of Doomsday, and then he gets
Doomsday.
PTS Doomsday, and so the only solution is to contact Wave Rider of the Linear Men and throw Doomsday into the end of time itself.
What? Because Superman was having bad dreams? Or because he was fighting him?
Because he was having bad dreams, and then so Superman decided to go find the asteroid that Cyborg Superman strapped him to in Reign of the Supermen. Also,
how did they defeat Doomsday?
Well, because he was dead from, well, quote unquote dead from when they fought in Death of Superman. So this is after 4 Supermen pop up, all claiming to be the real Superman.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But then he still comes back from the end of time.
On this podcast, we love Superman. If you can't tell, we've already been talking about Superman so much. I mean, I feel like a lot of mainstream comic people, which is fine, love Batman more. I mean, there's been way more Batman movies, and people like to be dark and brooding, but also Superman kind of cool.
I think it's going to change when this James Gunn movie comes out. I think this movie is really going to show people that Superman can be wholesome, he can be a Boy Scout, he can be kind and loving, he can be your friend, but he can still be, he can still whoop some ass, and I think he's going to,
To be the detractor in the room, I'm just going to say I hated Brightburn. I believe that is a James Gunn joint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but, it's whatever. I don't know. I don't really know what he was going for. That's my main problem. It's like I feel like he said he was reading All-Star Superman and Superman for All Seasons for this new movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
He should have read that for Brightburn, and then maybe there would be a purpose behind all the slaughter in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, in For All Seasons, again, it's my favorite Superman comic right now that I've gotten a hold of, and I don't think Superman even throws a single punch. He fights a tornado a couple times.
Yeah, that's what makes it so great, too. It's like, well, because, like, so many Superman stories are him punching people. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's cooler to have man versus nature sometimes.
Yeah, but every time I'm talking, I tell someone Superman is, my number one guy, they're always like, oh, he's so lame, he's too overpowered, blah, 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 he's boring. I'm like, dude, but that's not the point. The point is that he's the best of us, he's from another world, but he's more human than any of us, He represents the very best of what we could possibly be.
Yeah, people love to joke on Superman, but, I love Mortal Kombat 1, been playing that game, and 2 of the characters are practically Superman in that game.
Oh, yeah.
They just released the Homelander trailer. I mean, he's obviously evil Superman, which people love, evil Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Again, Brightburn, I don't know why people love evil Superman. I guess because it's cool, but it can be either.
I mean, there's plenty of good examples of evil Superman, Kingdom Come and Red Sun.
Is he evil in Kingdom Come, or is he just not doing shit? I don't even remember.
He's a dick, and he's definitely got Wonder Woman in his ear telling him to just, kill them. You're a god,
That's
you're
true.
But in the end, he's like, well,
they
you know
redeem
what?
Themselves.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, he definitely.
Yeah, I read that on the plane, I think, to Florida, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, again, back to Alex Ross, just so,
It's so hot, although my main critique is, you're trying to. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool when you look at all the characters and you're like, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
But it's really like, who the hell are these guys? Like, these are some deep pulls. Like, he's pulling out. I mean, he's also making new characters, so it's hard to tell.
Well, I think a big point of that book is that you can't really, like, there
Tell.
are just, there are so many, it's flooded. You don't know who anybody is anymore. You can't, you're not supposed to be able to tell who's good, who's bad.
Absolutely.
And Superman can't tell either, so he just starts putting anybody in.
That's right, he does start putting people in prison.
He calls it the gulag.
It's funny, it's like, this is so similar to the plot of Civil War, the comic. I don't know if that's a copy, but by the way, Civil War the comic, something I thought was pretty dope, and then I went into comic class at my university that I used to go to, Webster University, and like we were talking about Civil War this day, and my teacher's just like, Civil War sucks. It's one of the worst comics ever. It doesn't understand any of the characters in it, and it was like, I don't remember. I remember him saying that, and he gave us a chance to talk about it and stuff. But I did eventually end up agreeing with him. Yeah. Shout out to Dan Yesbick, a comic book teacher, professor, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's, if anyone wondered if the Civil War comic is as close to as good as the movie, it is not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got ideas in it.
It's got like 1/4 of the cast.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of butt shots, gratuitous butt shots.
We love it.
And somewhat realistic. Not, I guess, I you know what? I want to say somewhat realistic art, but it's not.
Yeah.
The proportions are not, but whatever. I guess, I mean, I forget who wrote it. It's, I want to say Mark Miller. Now I need to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with something like what we were talking about, Civil War, I'd read it and then
it was Mark Millar.
I'd read it and then I would I'd appreciate for the action. I would appreciate it for Speedball doing something so messed up as what he did. Just such a nothing character.
Gosh.
And then, but the fight at the end, I would read that and be like, "Oh, this is awesome! What a great book!" And then I'd close it and then probably never think about it again. But are
you talking about Civil War specifically?
Yeah, or just, I mean, I think in general you tend to be more critical of comics, and I just oh, what a great book, that was neat, and then I don't give it a second
like
thought.
everyone just acts so out of character, and then they just
Right.
kill people, and it's just like. It took Captain America until the end of the book to realize like how much damage they did. It was like,
Right.
I don't know, it just felt so unnecessary, gratuitous. But yeah, shout out also, I don't know if anyone's read Civil War, the Battle World crossover. That's an interesting one, where Cloak and Dagger in the final battle teleport everyone to St. Louis, and then the entire city blows up. And then there's like a divide, so there's like Iron Man's half of the country and Captain America's half of the country, and that's actually a good book, I would say.
And they're separated by the St. Louis Arch.
Basically, but it's also on Doctor Doom's planet. He's made out of all these other multiverses, so I don't understand how America can even exist. Or
St. Louis had to survive.
yeah, St. Louis was part of the lore, but
it was part of
I guess
Dr.
St. Louis,
Doom's
yeah,
plan.
St. Louis was just, I guess, next to 2099.
Yeah.
I really used to want Battle War. Okay, so Secret Wars 2012 was one of like my first crossover, right? And I really wanted to have a freaking poster of the Battle World map because it was so cool. And yeah, like I guess St. Louis technically was on that map if you count a destroyed, exploded St. Louis.
The Wizard was down there somewhere saving people.
Yeah.
Our St. Louis mascot.
The Wizard?
The Wizard.
Oh, the Wizard, right? Because I don't know if you guys know. U.S. Avengers had a variant for every single state, and Missouri got the Wizard.
Yeah, the fastest man in Missouri.
Yeah, I don't know if he's from Missouri. I figure he's not.
He's based in Missouri. I mean, why would they put him there if he wasn't?
Because no one's from Missouri except for Star-Lord now, since James Gunn made him a Missourian in Guardians of the Galaxy, the movies.
That was a critical detail. That's why I love him so much, because I can relate.
I was telling Scott last night that Guardians 3 is so good, and he said he hasn't even seen Guardians 1, and I was just like, dude, Come on.
Was he here when that came out? I feel like he had to have been. That was over 5 years ago.
I wonder if you can just start with Guardians 3. Like, I've seen one probably... That's probably the movie... This is a little embarrassing as a film student to say, but I have watched probably Guardians of the Galaxy 1 8 times, and that may be the most I've ever seen. Probably not if you count movies I watched as a kid, but the one I can remember that I've seen the most.
I can beat that. I went to go see Green Lantern in theaters 7 times.
Oh, no.
I paid money for the theater experience with my dad 7 times.
Oh, well, that's, I guess, one of those movies where, you were talking about how sometimes you just don't care and you're just like, I just want to consume something.
When I was a little kid, that's all I thought about. That like when he made the giant Hot Wheels track, my mind exploded. Like,
right, I remember...
Nothing was the same after that.
I just remember, like, for some reason we were doing, like, in school, like, some sort of break the ice thing, and it's like, what superpower would you want to have? Someone's like, I want Green Lantern superpower. It's like, of course you do, because it doesn't make any sense at all. Also, I just want to bring up, do you know who the Ray is?
The Ray? No, I guess not. Probably not.
He basically, there's like multiple ones of them, but I think the most recent one basically has the same power as Green Lantern.
Really? Just light constructs?
Yeah, he was in Milk Wars, which was the ending.
Milk Wars?
Yeah, that's the ending arc to Doom Patrol. And, Milkman Man is there.
Milkman Man?
Yeah, Milkman Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even explain it, but it looks like he's Superman. Imagine Superman, but instead of wearing his costume, he's wearing a milk costume, like the milkman who used to come to your house back in the olden days.
Oh yeah, the white cap, the pinstripe suit, the button down, whatever.
Yeah,
a little creative.
And then Wonder Woman becomes Wonder Wife. And then
this is a weird arc, Ty.
It's Young Animal, so this is when DC was being really weird. And then I'm trying to remember. Batman was turned into someone. He looked like a priest. I didn't read that issue. It was Batman cross Mother Panic, which is a Young Animal comic. I don't even know if I want to describe right now, but I don't know if I could describe it.
Right.
But that Young Animal stuff. Only one I liked was Doom Patrol so far, but cool idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so meta, it's insane. Like, you learn about the god of superheroes. It's like...
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that the other day. That does sound cool.
This god of superheroes that, from my understanding, never appears again or before. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Maybe one day My Chemical Romance gentleman will come back and bring him in.
Oh, yeah. There's always hope. I'll make a song about him.
Yeah.
But bringing it back to show off, so would you want to talk about maybe go into a little bit about issue 1, maybe without giving too much away?
No, but I think what I do want to do is say that we have an Instagram page.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We can look up, I should know the name, but
it's okay. You only made it.
You made it, actually.
Oh, yeah, I should know.
I renamed it though, Show Off Comic.
Oh yeah, I think that's a lot. Show Off Comic, all lowercase, no hashtag, no space,
no dash in between Show Off, which is what we are planning to eventually do.
Yeah, his official name is Show Dash Off.
Only 2 posts, but we should probably make a post today.
Yeah, we can do that. We just got those sample copies made. We can do something goofy with that.
Other than that, I think Show Off 1 and 1 will be done, in the next few months, and then we want a Kickstarter for 1 and 2. Hopefully, hopefully I still need to finish 2.
I think you only got a few pages left, but yeah, I think.
Well, the ending is often the hardest part, I think, but I don't think it'll be impossible.
I didn't think what you had before was that bad, but
it had no emotional purpose. It was just like it was just stuff happening, and it was not satisfying. That's as my friends will roast me about, I love Rick and Morty. Despite everything, despite the characters being family members and constantly having sex. But other than that, I like that Dan Harmon's writing is good, and he's got a way to do it, and everyone probably knows about this, the story circle. And I'm not trying to adhere to that like strictly, and you're not supposed to, but I do want it to be like a Rick and Morty episode where the character comes out different at the end, and you feel like you learned something, you did something, and you didn't just like
of course
gratuitously punch someone for 22 pages.
So I've been watching a lot of, I used to watch a lot of Todd McFarlane, just interviews, talks, anything I could get my hands on. And what he would always say was, if you had at least one moment per comic book that makes you say, wow, then you made a good comic book. And I think that's complete malarkey. Like,
I mean,
you can't just have one thing. I was like, whoa, oh my gosh. Like, that one page spread was really great, you know? That was definitely worth $6.
Right. Or like,
there's got to be something.
There's got to be some substance. It's like, you can't just, it can't be a series of cliffhangers.
Right.
It has to have some substance.
I think we should bring up Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers right now, because that is definitely something that
he put a lot of work into that, you can tell. I mean,
well, not just that. It's every Transformers comic before is, well, yeah, there's a lot of emotional stuff in the IDW comics, but I think he
brought it really to the next level almost.
He made it relatable. Like, he made this story about giant robots fighting an intergalactic war. He made it relatable to me. Like, with again, I don't want to spoil it, but just the relationship that Spike has with his dad. Like, he took these characters that were, like, they had personalities, but they were nothing in the original cartoon. Mm-hmm. And I don't think any subsequent piece of media has really brought them to life like this. Like, they have real problems. They don't look anything like they used to. He completely redesigned them, but, like, this is the new definitive version. Like, everybody I've talked to has agreed that this is the hot thing of Transformers right now.
I mean, it goes back to, like, wide appeal. It's like, it's people's least favorite part of the movies seem to be the human characters.
Oh, yeah.
Whose fault is that? I mean, I guess it's the expectation that you're going to the movies and you're going to see a lot of Transformers transforming. But if you know, like, also another problem with those movies, which again, I'm no historian on them. I've only probably seen some of them once. Right. But it's like, doesn't it change every movie with the humans? Like,
pretty much.
So like, there's no attachment in those movies. It's so detached from a consistent story, other than Optimus Prime being there every time.
Well, and it doesn't.
Jesus, I'm gonna get hate mail for our first episode. Holy crap.
I think you'll. Most people will agree with that. It's what you were saying with Civil War, with how none of the characters felt how they were supposed to. Optimus Prime in those movies.
Like, why is everyone so mean all of a sudden?
Exactly. Optimus Prime is a savage murderer. He says, "Give me your face," as he fucking rips someone in half and shoots his former teacher with a shotgun. Right?
Yeah.
But that's not
who Optimus should be.
Optimus Prime is a belief that he believes that freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Right? He thinks, he comes to this world, he sees smaller creatures, and he wants to protect them because he's put us in the way of his war. He's not trying to smash buildings. Like, he's not trying to freaking destroy an entire highway with another transformer, right?
I could be misremembering this, but I feel like I remember someone saying that I think Hasbro did not, or they were very cautious about him. They basically did not want him to do the scene where he steps on a deer. Like, Optimus Prime doesn't step on a deer, or Optimus Prime doesn't have emotion is what they're going for. Like, they don't want him to be too girly. I don't know. It's not damaging the brand for your character to have a moment of emotion.
That is what makes Optimus Prime, though, is those moments when he takes a step back and he realizes how big he is in this fragile world, and it's stuff like that makes him such a great leader, because he can feel for his comrades. That's what makes him different than Megatron. Megatron's just a freaking a dick all the time. But
if you can't tell, I am wasn't a huge Transformers head until these recent comics. I'm still not, but I did learn that Casey Kasem voiced one of the Transformers on the show. Yeah, so that's pretty sick.
We need to figure that out.
Well, I figured it out. I just didn't know who he was because I don't know the names of cars.
Oh, that's fair. Well, they're not cars. They're, robots in disguise.
They're cars and jets and tanks and sometimes guns.
I don't think I've ever seen a Transformer that was a submarine.
That's a good point. Arthur, you have a tattoo of a Transformer, don't you?
I do. It's Beachcomber, my very favorite Transformer from the first generation.
Upon his breast lays a beautiful artistic masterpiece.
Yes, upon my left boobie.
This this is an interesting topic a little bit. Tattoos and art. Like, obviously I'm for, but I have no tattoos, and I've always chalked it up to not having money, but also it's partially just my family hate, or my grandmother hates tattoos.
Oh yeah, you want to keep the will. It's okay, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be rebellious in that way. I'll be rebellious in ways that my family can't see.
Right. I mean, tattoos aren't for everybody, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I got this one, and now it's like, my mom and my brother, they both have, like, they're covered in tattoos. Right. They both have full sleeves, and it's like, I've always wanted to do that, but now it's like, I can't even think of what I would want my next tattoo to be, or even want to spend the money on it. Like,
here's kind of where I'm coming from too with tattoos. Yeah, so I was at work.
Yeah.
And someone came in with a tattoo of the Buddha, and it was on their arm, but it was practically in their armpit. And I had just come from Thailand a few months ago where there were signs places that said, do not tattoo the Buddha on your body. Just be reasonable, be respectful. And I thought that was reasonable to ask that. But obviously this guy had not gotten the memo. He was not in Thailand, I assume. Because
Fair enough.
Yeah. And, he did something that I can't blame him for because he's just didn't know, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm afraid of. Like, am I going to put a symbol on my body that someone finds incredibly disrespectful? And obviously it's his right to be able to put the tattoo, but I really wanted to tell him, hey man, a lot of people do not like that, and they're not going to like you because of it, and you should not go to certain countries. There's one to two in particular you should not go to.
I think if he was a Buddhist, he would definitely know better. But I've seen, like, greeting cards with, like, let that shit go, quote Buddha.
Yes, I know, dude. Like, you can make... I feel like when it's your... Okay, in America, it's obviously, or used to be, mostly Christian. So I do feel comfortable maybe making fun of, maybe a religious figure. I feel more comfortable doing that. But then, I guess... I don't live in Thailand, so when I see other people treating Buddha like it's a freaking fashion statement, it does make me angry. Because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm really
well, no, but that's the thing
not
is
being cool here. But
no, I get you, because you don't really see, like, people mocking Jesus or really like that, because people will call you out for that if you...
People definitely mock Jesus. We might have to just... I don't even know. We'll have to ask Jeff if we want to keep this in. Yeah. This is, like, so controversial.
Maybe.
We were playing a video game the other week, which was... Not the other week, but the other month, which was all... It was, like, Santa Claus, and then you could play as Buddha and Jesus. And
Buddha.
It is very disrespectful, but also it's equally disrespectful to all religions.
Yeah, that's what... it's just
which
fun.
Is... kind of South Parky, I guess. I don't like South Park, but it's just a fight. Yeah, see, then on the other side, I'm just like, well, it's just a fighting game. Why can't he say it's just a tattoo? But if someone got angry at the religious figure fighting game, I guess maybe I wouldn't have the right to be like, what the hell, man?
But no, you have the right to be upset about the tattoo, and anybody would have the right to be upset about that. But the person that put that content out there, if, like, say the person that made that game, like, they don't have to care, like, that's their art. Here's freedom of speech, but then
freedom of speech allows you to be a jerk sometimes still.
Yeah, of course. But
here's another, like, example that we could make it muddy even more. I just saw a clip of Injustice and Nightwing being greeted by, like, the Indian god
Ramakrishna.
And turning into Deadman, which I maybe that happened to Deadman and I missed that comic. That might have been his first comic.
What, Deadman?
Yeah,
that's his backstory.
That like he went to all the gods and all the gods were like, you will be a superhero.
No, he was an aerialist, like an acrobat, and someone like a gang member killed him for initiation to get into the gang, and then he was selected by Ramakrishna, just like Moon Knight, like when whatever Moon Knight's backstory is, how he dies, but he gets selected by
Khonshu.
Yeah, he just gets selected by a god, comes back from the dead, but he's a ghost. Nobody can see him, but he can possess people,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just read. Oh crap! Who wrote it? But Kelly Jones, the Dead Man.
The Dracula. Oh, you read Dead Man by Kelly Jones?
Mm-hmm. It's only It's called Dead Man: Love After Death. It's only a 2-parter, but it's insane. Like,
so Kelly Jones is the writer or the artist?
He's the artist. Here, let me see who the writer is. But yeah, Mike Barron. I have no idea who that is.
Let me see this.
But yes,
wow, this is freaky.
So the entire time, I don't think Dead Man ever touches the ground unless he's possessed a body. Like, he's floating constantly. And his ass is in the air constantly. Like, Kelly Jones, there's so many drawings of just
Dead man's ass.
Yeah, his booty.
Dead man's, may I say, very skinny.
Oh yeah.
Booty.
Oh yeah. He is dead. Yeah,
this is. Oh, but yeah, and here's some interesting shots.
Oh,
of just. Not dead man's booty, but a attractive woman who seems to be wearing.
She's also a ghost.
Ladies or something.
Keep flipping, you'll see some something you wouldn't expect to see in a DC comic.
Oh wow! What is this? That they can show this suggested for mature readers. This is full frontal nudity.
That's 1989.
Man, some kid lucked out when he bought this.
Oh yeah.
Like
for our. Since we don't have any kind of camera to look at that, there was full frontal nudity in a
Dead Man by Mike Barron, Kelly Jones, and Les Dorshine.
In a DC comic from 1989, I think.
But like, can you sell this to a kid? That's my question. Is a kid allowed to buy this?
I mean,
because it doesn't say anywhere on the front, like, like Marvel Max or anything. It's DC, obviously, but
DC had DC Vertigo at the time with V for Vendetta,
Or like, would this have? My other question, I guess, I don't think this is true, but unless it had like, it was poly wrapped.
Oh yeah,
but maybe. I don't think it was. I doubt it.
I don't know. I mean, it was a different time. They just had to put it on the high shelf.
All right, I think that's a great place to end now.
You think so?
I think so. I think less than an hour is going to be our limit of people wanting to listen to us.
Try to keep it around 45 minutes.
Yeah, less than an hour is the hour's absolute maximum. I would not want to hit an hour.
That's fair.
All right, so yeah, hopefully we will be back in a few weeks with another episode. We'll see you guys next time with a guest who will talk about their comic book or their experience in comics.
Oh yeah. Thanks for listening. We will see you soon, guys.
Bye.